Welcome to Homeopathy MasterKey, unlocking healing, one remedy at a time. Today, we're exploring Symphytum Officinale, the great bone knitter of homeopathy. It's known for healing fractures, but its power goes deeper. Imagine a dedicated worker, someone whose identity is tied to what they do. Work is their purpose. But when injury or illness forces them to stop, they don't just feel physically broken, they feel useless, restless, even guilty. Let's dive into how Symphytum can heal not just bones, but the deep-seated struggles of the work-driven soul. Symphytum is for those whose sense of self is inseparable from their work. They must be productive, they must contribute. If they are not working, they feel they have no purpose. Their self-worth is tied to productivity. We see this in the man who has spent decades at the sawmill, and now, in his later years, relives those days in his mind, unable to accept retirement. There's also the diligent office worker who fractures a bone and finds themselves not just physically broken but mentally restless, desperate to return to work. The guilt-ridden parent or homemaker who pushes themselves day after day, until their body finally forces them to stop through illness or injury. Or the athlete whose entire self-worth is tied to physical ability, often returning to training far too soon after an injury. They all share a core belief: if I'm not working, I'm failing. These individuals struggle with thoughts like, if I stop, I'll fall behind. If I rest, I'm useless. Who am I if I'm not working? They ignore pain, push through exhaustion, and struggle to accept help, until their body forces them to stop. At its deepest level, the Symphytum pattern is rooted in a powerful belief: I must always be useful, or I don't deserve love and security. This deeply ingrained belief is shaped by early life experiences, childhood patterns, and unspoken messages absorbed from family, society, and personal struggles. Many individuals with this pattern grew up in households where work meant survival. They watched their parents work tirelessly and internalized the idea that rest was a luxury and that working hard was the only way to stay safe or valued. Some were raised with constant pressure to achieve. They received praise only when they were productive, helpful, or successful, making them equate love and approval with performance. Others grew up feeling like a burden. Unless they were contributing in some way, they felt unworthy of attention, care, or belonging. And many were directly criticized for taking breaks. They were told things like stop being lazy or do something useful, leaving them with a lasting sense of guilt around rest. While Symphytum helps shift emotional patterns, it is most famously known for its miraculous ability to heal the physical body, especially fractures and injuries involving bones, cartilage, and the periosteum. It is a must-have remedy when dealing with broken bones. Symphytum accelerates the healing process by helping fractured bones knit together more quickly. At the same time, it eases pain at the site of the break, making recovery smoother and more comfortable. One of its unique and powerful uses is in cases of blunt trauma to the eye. When the eyeball has been injured, especially from a direct blow, Symphytum helps reduce the swelling, pain, and internal damage. It is also highly effective for injuries to joints and cartilage. In people suffering from arthritis, joint degeneration, or bone bruises, especially those with a history of previous injury, Symphytum can support deep repair and regeneration. In cases where wounds, ulcers, or abscesses refuse to heal, Symphytum supports the regeneration of tissue. It encourages deep healing in situations where the body has struggled to recover. Lastly, it is incredibly helpful for back pain and spinal injuries, whether from trauma, wear and tear, or age-related degeneration. Symphytum assists in rebuilding and restoring damaged vertebrae and discs, making it a remarkable remedy for athletes, older adults, or anyone coping with long-term injury. Symphytum symptoms worsen with touch, movement, pressure on the affected area, and exposure to cold, damp weather. Symphytum symptoms improve with rest, warmth, and gentle support to the injured area. For better understanding, let's compare symphytum to similar remedies. Arnica. Arnica is best for shock and trauma immediately after an injury, reducing bruising and soreness. Symphytum, on the other hand, is used in the healing phase, when bones and tissues need to regenerate. Ruta. Ruta is ideal for ligament, tendon, and periosteum injuries, especially from overuse or strain. Symphytum focuses more on bone fractures and deep periosteal trauma. Calcarea Phos. Calcarea Phos supports slow bone growth, mineral absorption, and chronic bone weakness, making it ideal for children and those with fragile bones. Symphytum, however, accelerates fracture healing and promotes rapid bone regeneration after injury. Now, let's look at a real-life example of how symphytum not only healed the body but also restored emotional balance. A 67-year-old retired carpenter had spent decades building homes. Work was his identity. After retirement, he felt restless, weighed down by guilt for not being productive. Then, a fall left him with a fractured hip. The pain was bad, but the forced inactivity was worse. His healing was slow, with lingering bone pain. A homeopath prescribed symphytum not just to mend his hip, but to shift his mindset. Within days, his pain eased. More importantly, he found purpose beyond work, joining a woodworking club where he could share his skills, without the pressure of a full-time job. Symphytum didn't just heal his hip, it healed his work guilt. Symphytum is not just the bone healer. It is the remedy for those who believe that if they are not working, they are nothing. It restores not just broken bones but broken identities, helping individuals release the guilt of rest and recognize that their value extends beyond what they do. Symphytum holds a powerful truth. Rest is not failure. Healing is not a weakness. You are worthy, not for what you do, but simply because you are. Heartfelt gratitude to Jill Turland for her profound insights into symphytum and its transformative healing potential. Her book, Getting Back on Track, has deepened the understanding of this remedy, particularly its emotional and physical applications and its use in megapotency. Thank you for joining us on Homeopathy MasterKey. Unlocking healing, one remedy at a time. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you next time for another deep dive into the wisdom of homeopathy. Please remember that this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for health concerns or before starting any treatment.